I think the part that I will agree with is the influence part. I'm going to take that into counsel because that's a good theory. I'm going to take that deterministic thing. I think what it is that they are up against forces of influence with no counter. With no counter, fathers were the counter for everything. Once fathers left the community, those negative dark forces were able to infiltrate, and that's really the biggest part of what they have no defense against. The only part that I will say is that if there is no father in the home for most of these women, they come to a crossroads faster. And the part of the crossroads is that they have absolutely no one pushing them to the angel side. They feel like all of the excitement, right? And that's really what I will say for human beings in general. I used to think that we were all good natured, but I've read recently in some of the facts that I've been putting together, we're not. We're all inherently mischievous. We will choose what's exciting over what is boring and stable. And that's what essentially women are doing. Men just happen to be more methodical, and we're able to be like, I ain't doing that shit. I saw what happened to my homeboy. I ain't doing it. So it'll be more men doing that. But yeah, society as in general is suffering from it as a whole.
All right, I'm going to get to Shan. What are your thoughts about what Issa Rae said?
So first, Issa's the homie. We put that out there. Worked with her some years ago, back in the day. Project called "Good Day to Be Black and Sexy" by my boy Dennis Dortch. Lived around the corner from me on 8th, then moved down the street over in Leimert Park. Worked with Issa back then. Lisa's in her late 30s. She married Lewis. She's been with Lewis for about 12 years. So she was with her boyfriend. She married him 2 years ago. So Issa's married today. She's not engaged. She's fully married. Been married about 2 years now. She's been with Lewis for about 10 or more. She's in her late 30s, so she hooked up with him in her late 20s. And to be honest with you, and maybe I'm impartial because she's my homegirl, but I'm with Sir Hale. I think what she's saying is, and see, a lot of times people take this word hoe and they use it interchangeably. And I'll be trying to educate people like hoe is what Sean said, prostitution. Slut is different. Being a slut, you don't get paid for it. You just fuck because, at least hoes get paid. But a lot of people say, 304s and hoes, and you a hoe and 304. And it's like, well, are you a hoe or are you talking about a slut? We got two different ones. And so if you a slut, it's just because you just misguided, don't know what you're doing. You're out there just fucking motherfuckers and getting nothing out of it. Hoes get paid. So when Issa used that term, she wasn't necessarily speaking on prostitution. She was simply saying, and let me tell you guys, I've known her for 20. I've known her when she was in her 20s. Let me do it like that. In her mid 20s. She was really awkward. The name of her first show was Awkward Black Girl. She was awkward, bro. She wasn't out here like doing she was I don't want to say corny, but it was like nobody was checking for her like that because she was so focused on filmmaking. She was always shooting. She was always around. So the thing is, what she was saying in that video is, if I would have popped at 23 and got a deal with HBO like she did at 10 years earlier than she actually got it, then she would be speaking to exactly what I was talking about when we talked about Tory Lanez. And I told you guys, I'm out here. I see people who get this attention. They get popping for whatever reason, whether they get some money or whether they get a new a record deal or whether they just got a new. I've seen people that get a movie role and suddenly they think they Denzel. One movie role. Just 2 months ago, they were a PA on set. 2 months later, somebody threw them a shot, gave them a little side feature, and suddenly they everywhere at night with sunglasses, popping bottles like they balling. It's weird to see what stardom can do. It's weird to see what getting a little bit of fame can do to the human psyche, man. You guys got to see it for yourselves. It'll blow your mind. You'd be like, damn. And that's what we talk about when you say, oh, then you hella Hollywood. You guys say it. You know the term. Why are you acting Hollywood? That's a real thing because some people come out here, especially people that's not from here. You get people that's kind of, we call them implants. They come to California to make it big or to strike out and try to become somebody. And if they get a modicum of success, they can go Hollywood. It's like a drug. And it's like, oh, this motherfucker that went Hollywood because he got one little feature side role on Blackish on one episode. And now he acting like that, or she's acting like that. And what Issa, I think, was saying is simply, if what she got when she sold Awkward Black Girl and turned it into Insecure, because that's where Insecure came from. It came from the Awkward Black Girl. That was the name of her YouTube series. And if they would have gave her a deal 10 years prior with that show that she was out there shooting with her cell phone and whatever camera she can borrow from us, she's basically saying her boyfriend Lewis would have never came, because she would have been Hollywood, like so many people have, like that happens to so many women. And then she would have took that fame and that fashion and that flair and those lights and those opportunities and all those meetings and being on Paramount Studios and Sony Pictures or Universal or Fox or wherever studios that she would have been rolling around in, and she would have been out there being a slut. Not necessarily a hoe, Sean, but more of a promiscuous, fast ass who thinks she's the shit because she made it big in her early 20s while she's watching 100,000 other girls clamoring for that same position. And what I think she's saying is because she didn't make it big and she just grinded out and she wasn't in the clubs, she didn't party with us. She was just always trying to figure out how to edit and shoot and then work, because she had a job somewhere. I don't know where she worked, but she was working. And then when she wasn't working, she was shooting her little episodes and writing all the time. And because she did that for 10 years instead, and then she blew up in her 30s, I think she's saying, well, because that happened, I was a little bit more grounded and I didn't do what I think I would have had the inclination to do if I would have been out there 10 years earlier. So I'm with Sir Hale on this one, guys. And it could be because I know her and I watched her in her 20s. I seen her with my own eyes, or us on the same set together in her 20s. And I know that she wasn't fast like them other girls that was just out here trying to be Hollywood. She was just trying to be a little corny ass writer, trying to get her shit done for YouTube. So
that was a good explanation, though.
Yeah, Shan, and that's what I was thinking as well. That's exactly what I heard. Fellas, let me ask you a question on here. And just in all honesty, have you done something or been at a place in your life where you had a transition, where you were just regular at first and then you was popping for something? Whether this is music or something like this.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So you know how exhilarating that is. Like, so I'll give it real quickly. I'll say this. So I grew up as a youth minister. And so I would be preaching against saying, y'all don't be out here having sex. Don't. And I was a goody two shoes boy. Like I'm telling you, I was judgmental. Like I wouldn't like me if I wasn't me. And I'm being honest with you. And I remember I went on this college trip and we went like to the all of black HBCUs, bro. It was killing. Like HBCUs was, we went to all of them. And so what happened was we went to Howard University, and they brought all the schools into the auditorium to give you this, the black experience.
You met women.
Yep, I met, bro. I'm about to get here. Watch what happens. So we get in there, and I was a musician, and so my friends were like, you know what, let Ernest. That's my government name. So y'all don't make me lose my street cred by Ernest. I'm Sir Hale. Don't put some respect on it. But they said let Ernest go play the piano. So I went up there, played the piano with some keys. Now remember, I'm a church boy before. Don't have sex. Be right. Wait till you married. Well, after I played, I was about to get some. So it's funny. As soon as I did this and I got some attention, girls at the hotel room, and it's very ironic that my morality went out the door when I had opportunity. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of people, it's very easy to tell a person or to make them feel like they should be more when you've never been exposed to what they've been exposed to. So I say that to say, I can respect Issa Rae for having that candor, because we teach our girls a lot about how to be good women, but we don't teach them how to deal with the onslaught of attention, which can be addictive. And I think Issa Rae spoke very clearly to that. And I got to give a man props for opening up that way.